So there are two types of people in the YouTube world when it comes to Nintendo Direct rumor mill speculation talk: those that enjoy the videos and all of the newest insider talk around a Direct potentially being around the corner, and those that don't. And if you're somebody who doesn't, you are welcome to click off the video right now, because spoiler, we will be talking about some rumor mill speculation talk. And if you stick around and you still show up in the comments, well, then I have the shirt on that has the reference with the two words that I have for you. And if you get that, congratulations, you're probably a wrestling fan too, or grew up in the 90s. Anyway, guys, today we are talking about the latest round of summertime where's our Nintendo Direct that we should have gotten in early June, because if you look at history, you know that Nintendo historically holds one aligned with E3. In years where E3 isn't around, we have no clue on whether or not they will be holding their traditional mainline presentation, or in last year's case, we got in late June a mini partner showcase. Now, I'm going to preface this video by saying that I am still, even in light of these new claims and new information that we will be going over, on the side of the fence that we will not get a mainline Nintendo Direct. I hope I am wrong about that. I would clearly be elated to find out that Nintendo does indeed have a mainline Direct up their sleeves, and we will just all be surprised in that scenario. But I am thinking that Nintendo is pulling a card out of last year's playbook where there was no E3. We were all left wondering all June long whether or not we would get any kind of presentation from Nintendo, and then we finally got that late June, on June 28th to be exact, mini partner showcase. And we now know that in the year of 2023, we find ourselves in a more strained situation with the Nintendo Switch than ever. It's completed its 6th full year of sales and being available on the market. It is now on its 7th year of sales, and Nintendo just dropped their biggest game potentially for the platform ever, the game that many of which claim to be the swan song, and did indeed say that there would be a lull of first-party Nintendo games after it was released, and that is none other than Tears of the Kingdom. Now, if you're somebody who's extremely hyped for Pikmin 4 and even Everybody 1-2 Switch, you may say that Nintendo has plenty upcoming first-party game releases, and you're happily tied over until we get something like the September Nintendo Direct. But if you're not somebody who's looking forward to either one of those games being released, you're probably left wondering, is Tears of the Kingdom really Nintendo Switch's last big hurrah from a first-party perspective? Are we going to see any additional Mario games on the platform? Another Donkey Kong? Are we going to get a new hardware reveal? Will Nintendo just pad the rest of this year with DLC for things like Pokemon Scarlet and Violet that we know they have in the holster? Well, that scenario is where this rumor mill speculation talk might be very exciting to you, because there are a couple sources, one of which I put a lot of stock into. The other one, I think we can just say, kind of throw it out the window, but for some reason it's being talked about online. And they are claiming that June is not only likely, but there's even the possibility of a mainline Nintendo Direct, or any other type of Direct, to be clear, happening next week. And the first source that I'm not really putting any stock into popped up on the R Gaming Leaks and Rumors from a user who has no source and is just essentially claiming that this is going to be the week. And it says the following: not sure which variant it will be, general, mini, or partner, but there is a Nintendo Direct scheduled for next week, the week of June 18th. I'm leaning towards general, but I don't have complete info on that yet. And apparently this user originally had a typo and said July 18th, so he then edited the post and said the week of June 18th, not July. Now, it was pointed out by some users in the comments that this particular account went through and deleted like all of their history prior to making this post, and some people saying like that's clearly a red flag of it not being true. Others saying, well, if he's somebody who his post could trace to who he actually is, he would want to delete all that stuff before going in and posting this. We don't necessarily have any kind of track record for this person, so again, this is the more throwaway, if it happens, great, but I'm not putting my expectations around it. And then we have a name that you all are probably familiar with by the name of Nate the Hate. Now, he is not, to be clear, claiming that it's for sure happening in June, but there's a couple different pieces of information that have popped up. A few days ago on Family Boards, there was a poll on which month Nintendo would hold their Direct. Nate Drake did indeed vote for the month of June. Then there was a fan question asked on Twitter where it reads, do you know by any chance if there will be a Nintendo Direct soon, or any information, please? Nate then responded saying, I wouldn't discount June from a possible Direct. Now, you may remember the last time we did a video about a potential Nintendo Direct, it had to do with Jeff Grubb and him hearing early rumblings of something happening in July. To clarify, he never really said it was for sure a Direct, but as soon as he said it was something, he then followed up with saying, I'm not sure if it's a Direct mainline, mini, or a partner showcase, but he did point out that July would be weird for a traditional mainline Direct. So it sounds like to me, between him and Nate the Hate, something is happening in the background in terms of the contacts that they have in the gaming industry around rumblings of a Direct. It doesn't mean it's going to for sure happen in late June or early July. I think it'll be one or the other, not both, but it does appear that game developers that they have contacts with are likely feeding them some kind of information that they're being told to get trailers ready to be a part of some kind of presentation, and those rumblings are now getting out into the wild. Keep in mind, whether you love or hate these names, while they have had a track record of being very right, they have also missed some things on timing, so don't take any of this as concrete gospel, but do realize that a lot of times in weeks prior to an official announcement from Nintendo themselves, we have had these same names discussing the Nintendo Direct, not including that random Reddit poster. If they're right, that's fantastic, and maybe we'll add their name to our list of people to keep track of. But again, I'm throwing away that one as a long shot. I think that the big names to pay attention to are Nate the Hate and Jeff Grubb, due to their track record with accurately predicting these type of events in the past, in addition to just numerous gaming projects that, let me tell you, the internet definitely doubted a lot of them were real, and we still saw them come to light. But the last and more interesting part of this conversation is what kind of Direct we will actually see Nintendo hold, and what kind of new game announcements will actually be there. Because if it is something like a mainline Direct, we could indeed see the curtain pulled back on multiple different first-party games. This is the most empty release schedule we have ever seen in terms of first-party Nintendo Switch releases since the Switch was out, to my personal memory. Maybe there was a weird gap in time before where we knew less than this, but if you even go over to Nintendo's Direct release schedule site themselves, they literally have Everybody 1-2 Switch slated for June 30th. They have these Joy-Cons on their release schedule, and then in July they have Pikmin 4, and interestingly, they added Disney Illusion Island to their list of releases, even though I don't believe it's first-party Nintendo published. In fact, it says Disney Interactive next to it. So that's on their release schedule, maybe just because they wanted something else on this website. It is bare bones right now. We have literally no clue what Nintendo has up their sleeves. It'll also be very interesting to see if we do get a mini partner showcase in June. Well, then what is Jeff Grubb hearing in July, or has the timing just not been nailed down yet? Because if there is a separate something in July, could it be a Pikmin focus Direct? That's definitely on the table and a strong possibility, especially considering that Pikmin is a more niche franchise and Nintendo will want to expose it to as many eyeballs as possible. It could even be something crazy out of left field, like a new hardware reveal like we've seen them do in Julys in the past, but I'm not wanting to get my expectations set that high. I hope we hear about new hardware this year, and I hope it comes out early 2024, but we won't know anything at the end of the day until Nintendo officially reveals it. But that's really where I want to hear from you guys. What's your opinions on this latest round of rumor mill speculation talk, Nintendo Direct watch during the summer of 2023? Do you buy into any of this? Do you think that Nate the Hate has some kind of info and that's why he's coming out now and saying that June is the most likely month in a poll, and he's saying not to discount it to that Direct Twitter response? And do you think that that random Reddit poster actually has some information and it is next week? Or is it going to be held at the very end of June like they did in 2022? Or do you think it actually gets held in early July and that's where Jeff Grubb's sentiments come into play? So let me know all your thoughts and feelings on everything we talked about today. And if you're not down with that, I got 2 words for you. Go watch yesterday's video next if you haven't already, which is on screen right now. Also make sure you like, subscribe, turn on your notification bell, and I'll see you guys in the next video.